Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Gizmo Guru. Today, we're going to be doing a comparison between two different earbuds. We're going to be looking at the Amazon Basics and the Tozo Nc9s. So, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll continue. Alright, now the reason I decided to do this comparison is I've had both of these earbuds for quite a while now, so now I feel like I can give a very good comparison of the two. Now, I've used both of them quite a bit, and I basically had them so that I could give you my honest feedback between the two, because the reason I got both of these was I wanted to figure out, hey, what are some really highly rated earbuds on Amazon that are good? And that's what we're going to find out here. So, first, before we go into my personal experience, we'll go over a few specs. So, first, we're going to start off with these Tozos. And I'll show you, or I'll tell you a couple of features and specs on these. So, as far as the waterproof rating goes on the Tozos, so they are IPX8, so very high water certification there. They are active noise canceling, which is very nice. And also, they do have 6 microphones altogether, so that is extremely good. They also use Bluetooth 5.3, pretty standard. And the battery life on them is 60 hours. Now, that's with the case, so that's not the individual earbuds, that's with the case. And you get all of that for $27.99, so pretty good price. So these are lower priced earbuds, but I'm just kind of going over what features you get for that price. Now we're going to go over to the Amazon Basics earbuds. And these guys are IPX4, so not as highly rated. However, because they are a little bit newer, they use a Bluetooth 5.4. Now, I won't go over the details of what that means, but it is a newer protocol of Bluetooth. And as far as your battery life goes, these are quite a bit. This is like about half. These are 28 hours. Now, that's with the case, so not each individual earbud. And it actually doesn't specify. I couldn't find any info that says or specifies how many mics these guys have. So, couldn't find that out. Now, the overall price on these is a little bit cheaper. These are $20.99. Of course, both of those prices vary with sales and things like that. But yeah, I will say for the price difference, I mean, they're still both under $30. But so I'm going to tell you my personal thoughts between having these two. So I really like this little screen that shows you the battery life. That is probably my favorite feature of the Tozos, and the noise canceling. And it's halfway decent noise canceling. So I will give them credit there. I like the size of the case. Very nice. My only real complaint with them is at really high volume, these can sound a little tinny. That's really my only complaint. Feature-wise, these are really nice for the money. So if you want a lot of features and you just want something good that works, these are a good compromise if you don't want to spend over $30. So very nice. Now, we'll move on to the Amazon. Now, these don't have as many features and the battery life isn't quite as good. However, I will say, I personally like how these sound. You know, they're not as good as, talking on the phone, because my guess, these probably only have one mic per, they're not like expensive earbuds, or they don't really have a lot of features, but as far as sound quality, these are pretty nice. So I would put it down to two things. So this I would definitely choose for features and phone calls. This I would definitely choose for sound quality in that price range. So that's kind of my ultimate thing. Now, would I buy both of these earbuds again? Yes. They're both good enough to where I would buy them for the price they're at. I believe for the price range that they're in, they're both really good. And like I said, those two things that I had to harp on, which feature I like over either one of these, yeah, those are my final thoughts on it. But overall, pretty good. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. So I hope that helps, and please put in the comments if you've owned either of these. What are your thoughts? Which ones do you like more? Do you have the same opinion? I'd like to know. Let me know.